Most hitting coaches try to fix everything at once. Your load, your bat path, your bat speed, all in one session. And you leave that session with 6 different things to think about. Today, I'm gonna show you exactly how we fix mechanics in the correct order. One step at a time and each one building on the last improvement. It's what I call the stair-step method. Let's get into it. I'm Nate Kelly and I run the Close the Gap protocol. I work with high school hitters every single day. And the number one mistake I see with them isn't actually their mechanics. It's the order they try to fix them in. Random fixes, random order, random results. Here is the right order. The stair-step method has 3 steps in this order. Step 1 is backside mechanics, step 2 is bat path, and step 3 is bat speed. You cannot fix the bat path unless the backside works, and you can't build bat speed unless the bat path is efficient. And every step creates a foundation for the next one. You skip the one before it and everything else on top will eventually crumble. Here's exactly what each step looks like, starting with the backside mechanics. And honestly, a ton of hitters skip this because it's not super fun or sexy. But everything in your swing originates from your backside. So I want to introduce you to what I call the backside stack. Backside stack means our ankle, our knee, and our hip are all in alignment. They are vertically loaded and ready to fire. What I do with my players is we drill this on the tee. We check it on video and we don't move forward until this is automatic. From there, we go into what I call squat, hinge, and hover. Many high school hitters use what I call a sway to attempt to get loaded on their backside. But the simple matter of fact is you have to use the ground to create ground force. And you create the most force possible by actually squatting into the ground. That way you load up your back hip and you develop a glute dominant load. So we have to make sure we remove our sway and replace it with a squat. From there, we must activate a hinge over home plate. A hinge is just bringing that chest over top. And you have to maintain this posture through contact. When you do that, you create leverage on the ball and you can actually lift it up into the air. And finally, you hover towards the ball with ease. No lunge and no crash, just a hover. The moment you lose your posture, you lose leverage. And this is what separates hard contact from that spinny feel. And as I previously mentioned, this load must be glute dominant. When you load into your backside, are you feeling it in your glutes or your quad? A glute dominant load is what creates explosive glute extension. And your glute is one of the most powerful muscles in your body. If this isn't the primary driver of your backside mechanics, you're leaving massive rotational force on the table. You've got to use specific loading drills to reinforce glute activation, both in the weight room and with your swing work. Single leg squats, hip hinge patterns, single leg drills, things of that nature. If these are all good and in check, then we can move on to step number 2. And honestly, bat path is where most coaches start, and that's a big mistake. Bat path on top of broken backside mechanics means nothing. But if you actually do step 1 correctly, this has an actual rotational engine behind it. So here's what you have to build with your bat path. First is steepness behind the barrel. Your barrel has to get steep, not flat and not looping either, just steep. Steepness means your barrel angle is working down towards the hitting zone on a direct, efficient path. Combined with maintaining your posture and spine angle through the swing, this creates the leverage needed to actually drive the baseball. Your hands have to stay close to your body throughout, because the moment your hands drift away from your body, your bat path gets long. And a long bat path will destroy your rotational energy. Short and steep keeps that energy alive before you make contact. Next is top hand dominance. Your top hand guides everything. A firm top hand controls the barrel through the zone. And a passive or weak top hand allows barrel drag. Think of your top hand as the driver, like it's firm, it's aggressive, and it's guiding the barrel path. Top hand only swings is a great way to drill this, or the punch drill. If your barrel stays steep and your contact is consistent and your top hand is working, then we'll move on to step 3. You should really only be building bat speed on top of already established mechanics, because this is less about mechanics and more so about your training program. You cannot swing your way to elite level bat speed. You have to train it. So first, let's talk about central nervous system efficiency. Bat speed lives in your nervous system. Specifically, it's how fast your nervous system can fire your barrel and send signals to your muscles to create a correct rotational transferability. So yeah, the guys with insane bat speed, they're not just stronger. They've actually trained their central nervous system. So this is built in the weight room, like I said, through triphasic training methods, rate of force development work, and explosive compound movements. Again, you cannot develop this by swinging more. This has to be a part of your training. Once the physical foundation is there, overload, underload training actually accelerates the development of bat speed. Faster than almost anything else, to be honest. Overload bats teach you to generate more force, and the underload bats teach your nervous system to express that force functionally. You got to use these together in a systematic progressions for your bat speed and create that bat speed ceiling your body didn't even know it had. Finally is 10 out of 10 or max intent. This one is non-negotiable. Sometimes you just got to push the envelope as to how fast you can actually move the bat. So every swing you're taking in your bat speed training needs to be maximum effort. Not 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I'm talking 10 out of 10 effort, 100%. Again, your nervous system adapts to the intensity you place on it. If you train at an 8 out of 10, you're gonna get 80% results. This could even apply to your BP rounds. How hard can you actually swing? And then next week when you try it again, can you swing harder? Find that ceiling and keep progressing it. Bat speed is built, it's not found, and it's not genetically given. So again, you've got 3 steps in this thing: backside mechanics, bat path, and bat speed. In that order. Fix the backside mechanics, build the bat path on top of it, and when they're locked in, develop your bat speed, specifically through your training program. Skip one of these steps and eventually everything breaks. If you're looking for a system that takes you through this sequence in the correct order, apply to the Close the Gap protocol in the description. Stand out, don't settle.